One, thank you for being here. You and I have been friends for almost, I think, over 10 years now.
Too long.
Yeah, just getting started though. And I love champagne. So when this came about that you were coming back in town, I wanted to do a dinner for our top champagne buyers, people here that really love this. But I really wanted to do a video with you to kind of share my passion for Billecart-Salmon and everything that this family kind of stands for. And Clement, you are the brand ambassador for this for the US. So the history, right? Billecart got started in 1818, and this blows my mind. As I've been drinking all these insane champagnes over the years, and I do drink a lot of champagne.
I know.
Yes, but it's really fascinating because I gravitated a lot to a lot of the small producers, and there's obviously a movement towards this. But Billecart, to me, and what we consider the grand marks, the houses that have the grand prestige, world-renowned, global impact, Billecart has always been one of the highest. I would love to hear your take on this now that you are so close with the family, and just give some background to this.
Yeah, Kevin, well, before I start, super happy to be here. Super happy to see you. Cheers.
Always.
It's so nice to reconnect. When we first met, this was a bit of a vision and dream of yours, and I know it's now been rooted for quite some time, but it's my first time seeing it in real life, and it's amazing the level of quality, the attention to details that you do, and thank you for keeping our friendship, of course, but representing these wines. The great thing about a house like Billecart, and besides the history of and the memory, the know-how, the savoir-faire, as we call in French, that you've developed and enhanced over generations is we're not stuck and restricted to one little village or one little terroir. So of course we own grapes, but we have the capacity and almost the luxury of saying, okay, if we haven't been able to, because there's not much to sell or for sale in Champagne, especially when you focus like us on the Grand Cru, the Premier Cru, especially when you look at wine like this, like Blanc de Blanc, Côte des Blancs. There's 5 Grand Cru or so in Côte des Blancs, and everybody wants to be there. It's the best of the best. And so it's good to have the ability to say, we were able to secure, a little sourcing, a little parcel here in Ménil-sur-Roger, a little parcel here in Chouy, a little parcel here in Ambonnay, or in some Meunier parcels, the villages that we don't have access to. That's so we can create our blends, and we can also, be established enough so that today in a wine like this wine, for instance, which we can talk about further because this is what the house produced the most. It's the non-vintage blend of Billecart-Salmon. It's a brand new era of this wine, a new evolution. We've changed. The label has evolved, from Brut Réserve to now Le Réserve. That is to say that it's no longer a Brut, but it's an extra Brut. But it's to say a lot more than that. There's a very big evolution on the back end, specifically on reserve wines, for instance. So here you have 70% of reserve wines. These are things that you can do because you've had a family supporting pillars and keeping things going for so long.
Billecart is one of the only independent grand marks still around. Everyone else has sold, or there's multiple ownerships in big corporations. Do you find that single family ownership allows you guys to be able to be more nimble? Can you adjust things quicker? Because if I remember correctly, the current 7th generation that's running the estate today really believes one of the greatest assets of Billecart is time and legacy. But with that, you guys always seem to be kind of innovating and really kind of seeing what's happening and making moves where you need to. And do you feel that's possible because it is just family owned?
I think that's the strength of this particular family, is that generations after generations, it's been like building a little tower and adding new things. There's always the heritage and the style. We have a very specific style at Billecart, and Mathieu, who you're referring to, is the 7th generation, who took over from François in the 6th generation in 2018. When you ask him, he'll tell you, my job is to, and my dream is to give the key, one day to the 8th generation in a better shape, and make better wine than, the previous generation, and do everything we can to do little things. He always insists on the little things, you have two ways. You have either you do the big splashy things and tell everybody about it, and whether it's true or not or impactful or not, it's sometimes questionable, or you do the little things.
For sure.
It's the addition of all the little things that you can do because you have freedom.
A second ago, you mentioned the idea that you guys have a style, and Billecart, to me, when I taste Billecart, it tastes like Billecart. It's very, very clear that these wines are special, but they don't taste like a lot of the other big names, and I don't consider Billecart big name, even though you guys farm a little over 300 hectares now or have fruit to access to.
Yeah.
Some of these are really historic. If you go back to some of the Clos Saint-Hilaire, or if you go into Blanc de Blancs, but I think one of the most famous is the Rosé is kind of benchmark for what people think of Rosé. I don't think you can talk about Champagne Rosé without having Billecart in the conversation. It is benchmark.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys have so much passion into every label that is being produced.
Well, the idea is we have this kind of style, which is, we're all about gastronomy, as you know. So, we make food wine, we make wine for food, but we like a lot of foods, and we want to have our style, in the bigger manner, which is always to match the food, to accompany the food. So we look for freshness, we look for finesse, we look for acidity, we look for brightness. That's the general rules amongst everything we do. But then within that umbrella, we have different savoir-faire, as we call, like different technicalities and style that we've developed within that. So we have Rosé is the flagship of the house, as you know, but we make very light rosés, and that's our style. In Rosé, you find that lightness, that freshness within the rosé, even though you're playing with red wine, white wine, some tannins, in the red wine, is being able to reproduce and match that style. These two wines, Clos Saint-Hilaire, Brut, that represents what we do in barrels. So that's the barrel savoir-faire. So we're trying to apply and respect that style within a different environment, which is barrel. So how do you do that? So this has been the work in progress over the year that we started since 1995, which was the first vintage ever of Clos Saint-Hilaire, is how we can apprehend, comprehend, understand the barrels and respect that style, still find freshness, still find balance, etc. And then we make Blanc de Blanc, and then we make blends. We're not a mono product house, Yes, we're known for the rosé, but we want people to talk about things like Sous-Bois, which are an amazing achievement in terms of style, and that to me doesn't have any equivalent in champagne stylistically within oak fermented champagne, or our Blanc de Blanc, which we don't make a lot of, but that's an amazing expression of Côte de Blanc with more aging on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. It's 2012 and out now. It's pretty special.
We take our time.
Yeah.
Mathieu always says, he's the CEO. He runs the house. He's the seventh generation, but he always jokes. He said, I might be the boss, but I'm not the boss. The boss is the wine. There's no cheating with time.
Yeah.
There's the one thing you cannot buy. You can have, if everything is open to you, you hire the best winemaker, have built the best winery, buy the best grapes. But if you don't let the time do its thing, in Champagne you can achieve with that. And for us it's very important, specifically again for our style, because we build the wine focusing only on first press, focusing mainly on Grand Cru, and having those, we didn't talk about that, but we cold fermentation, slow process, where we really enhance and focus on the fruit and the freshness. So the downside to that is we have wines with a lot of energy and acidity, and that stay very muted if you don't wait. So you need to be patient, but if you wait on a prestige cuvée like 2012, Louis Salmon or Nicolas François that we just released, 13 years almost, it's not just to say, okay guys, we waited 13 years because we can wait. It's because the wine needs it and our style needs it. But when we release it, this is wine that we deem will go another 20, 30 years. They're collectible items. They will age. They have potential. But we don't want to sell potential. We want the wine to be, according to us, ready to drink, but with a lot of ageability.
Yeah.
So that's what we go for. But that's again because the family is not getting in the way, or there's not a holding, or getting in the way and asking questions. It's about, okay, how do we make better wines? And we're not about. It's all about doing the little things. Let's hopefully the wine speak for itself, and be very true to, in a very humble fashion, you know, be very true to the style.
No, and I love it, and I appreciate you being here. You know, it was interesting because Billecart means so much to me as a winery, and you've turned into such a dear friend that, you know, we only could get 16 people for this dinner tonight, and we had to look and say who's our biggest champagne lovers, and we kind of had to narrow it down from there. But I wanted to do a video for all the people that couldn't make it to the dinner tonight, and also just to tell the story about Billecart-Salmon a little bit more and what this historic estate means. So thanks for taking the time on a video.
I'm so blessed and honored to be here, you know, and thank you for your friendship. And if you're watching this video, then you didn't come to the dinner, but just open a bottle, come here, open a bottle, a glass,
For sure.
and have a good time, you know.
For sure.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you.